Good morning, guys. Happy Tuesday. I hope everyone is doing well. It is the 5th of August, and we are here to give you, I say we all the time, but I am here to give you my daily market outlook. For some reason, I have adapted saying we instead of I, because I'm not the only person that's on this video doing this daily market outlook. So yeah, but as always, before we get into the charts, I want to make sure that you guys know that the content on this channel is for educational purposes only, educational and informational purposes only. I am not a financial advisor, and nothing shared in these videos should be considered financial, investment, or trading advice. Trading and investing always involves risk, and you should always conduct your own research before making any financial decisions. Any past performance discussed does not guarantee future results. Also, understand that you are responsible for your own financial decisions. With that being said, let's get straight into the charts and see what's going on. Yesterday, if you guys were on the charts, you would have noticed it was extremely consolidating, nothing really happening. So for me personally, I didn't participate, in anything bar one. Anything bar one. And the only reason was that is because it gave my trading plans reaction. So I'll explain what I participated in, and then we can obviously go from there. So as you guys know, if you're looking at today, what is it now, 11 a.m. So we're currently in around here. We've got nothing really major as of today. We've got red folder news at 4 p.m. for the US dollar. So that's the only thing we really need to keep an eye on going into today. Other than that, no, everything's a yellow folder, no orange folder, no other red folder news as well. So going into the charts, let's see what is going on. So I'm not going to go too much into the higher time frames because you guys, watched yesterday. If you look at where we're currently at as we speak from the naked eye, you'll be able to see that we're reacting from this 4-hour demand area. Now, yesterday, nothing happened at all. It was just extremely consolidated. And obviously nothing really stood out for me to just go, yeah, bam, until we basically had this reaction here. Let me just look again. This reaction here told me a lot, which is a 4-hour bullish engulfing candle away from this 4-hour demand candle. So if you guys can see, it was inside this 4-hour demand, tapping in, creating liquidity. We had that liquidity swept again over and over, and then we got that bullish 4-hour reaction. Now that allowed me to go down to the lower time frames for the dollar, and obviously see if we can get a reaction from, and this is today by the way, from obviously the imbalance or this 4-hour demand area. So you guys can see it was a 4-hour, but also this 1-hour engulfing candle here was the reaction that I was just going on about. As you can see, nice engulfing candle. We come back into this 15-minute and 1-hour demand, had another engulfing candle, and then that allowed me to then look for moves away from this. So as of right now, if I go to the 4-hour, you can probably see that we've broken above this high. What I'd be expecting the market to do is potentially just coming back to fill in the rest of this imbalance here. If we do come back, it will be probably around this 4-hour demand to fill in. So I'm hoping, the market does have a little pullback, and then, we carry on away from here. My hope is that we're going to come and attack this imbalance here, which would be my perfect scenario. 4-hour supply above, and obviously all of this imbalance that we have in this institutional NFP candle. So into this imbalance, up into the supply potentially, and then we can make a decision again away from there. So with that being said, what's going on with the major pairs? So if we look at the 4-hour on here, I'll just quickly go to the day, that might be a bit clearer. You'll be able to notice that yesterday we were talking the fact that we have a 4-hour supply area here, but we also have this little, candle of interest, this little trap area here, which you can see we talked about where it's blue. And this is where the market came up to, and now we're reacting from away from here slowly. So yes, these are the two areas we talked about. This is what we was waiting for, a reaction from here if the dollar allowed that. If I'm honest, it doesn't really interest me in the slightest at the moment. There is a 1-hour demand area that we're currently in, but the way that the dollar's moving, obviously understand that if the dollar's bullish, then obviously EU's gonna be bearish. So I'm not looking to long from this area, if I'm honest. I'm gonna move that away. But if you drop down to the 1-hour, you'll be able to see that the market is slowly starting to move away. Once we get a lot below this as well, it'll be even more extra confirmation to short Euro USD. So as of right now, I'm not interested in anything as of right now until we break this low here. So that's just my scenario on Euro USD. So hopefully that makes sense. Of course, if we are going to carry on with the dollar bullish, we could wait for a reaction pullback even in this trap area here, or to fill in all of this imbalance into this candle here, and then we could see the market move away. That could be the potential reaction areas. So that's all I've been looking at. Let me just quickly go to the daily. Yeah, we're probably going to come back. Let's say it's more so either filling this little imbalance here or the imbalance above in this supply. So let's just mark this out. So you have this 4 hour supply. In fact, I'm going to make it like here so it covers the imbalance, or it's just going to be this little area here, which you guys can see where it also has this imbalance that is created. So again, what I'd expect to see is either just a little pullback and then carry on, or a little bit of a deeper retracement into this 4 hour supply and then carry on from here. So that's what I've been looking out for with your USD. But again, I'm just going to reiterate to you guys, I'm not interested in your USD. Now, GBP USD, different scenario where we're in kind of trap, but if you look at the whole overall structure, let's just go to the daily. The overall structure, you'll be able to notice that, the market it's been extremely bearish. We've got this break of structure here. So we have this daily higher, lower high and daily lower low. We've created equal lows below, which could potentially be a target for us to, obviously aim for. Now, looking at this area here of interest, this candle, this little trap candle here is where I obviously mentioned to you guys about this being our candle of interest. As you guys know, COI, candle of interest. Now that's when the market is started to slowly react from. You can see that the market's wicked up from yesterday and we're slowly slowing down the market. So could this be the catapult to potentially see the market move down? That's one thing that we can obviously, keep an eye on. Now, obviously, you guys will know, yesterday I talked about the fact that we have this 4 hour supply and this imbalance. We didn't quite reach the supply on here, but we did tap into the imbalance and have this reaction. So for me personally, what I've been waiting for is just some sort of, reaction away. I'm going to get rid of these from yesterday, so it's a little bit clearer. But I've been waiting to see some sort of, reaction that I think is worthy of my time. And to be fair, I don't like the way this is moving as much as, let's say, the other pairs like USD CAD and so on and so on. So I wouldn't really be looking too much into any of that. But as you guys can see, we are slowing down. So what I would be waiting for is just maybe a significant break of a low. Let's say this is our next low that we printed here. Maybe having the confidence of seeing an engulfing candle and then looking to do this potentially. That could be one scenario. Also understand that we have created pretty much not equal lows, but liquidity here. So that's what I'll be expecting to see potentially. If I just quickly go to the 2 hour, obviously we had this reaction and then we got this engulfing candle here, which is where the market came back into. But yeah, for me, I'd be just patient with GU personally. Now, AU DUSD has been moving nice, like extremely nice. I said to you guys yesterday that we have this range, and obviously, we have this 4 hour change of trend on here. Now, understand that with this daily range from this high, let's make this black actually. This daily lower high to this daily lower low. Understand that, of course, we were talking about, let's see how we react on either this imbalance that we have left or this 4 hour supply area here. Now, of course, as you guys can see, we did have this institutional candle from NFP, and then we had a pullback into this demand. Now, again, this is why everything revolves around the dollar. What is the dollar doing? What is the dollar telling us? Should be the most analyzed pair for anyone who is trading major pairs, major currency pairs. So as you can see, we tapped into this imbalance, then we started to slowly move away. And one thing I noticed, I think it was on the 1 hour time frame, was just the change of trend that was happening. We had, if you look at this, we had, and the dollar aligned with it as well. Little pullback here. Then we created this little 1 hour trend that was going on. And then we had this break here. Now, this break here caused me to look at this engulfing candle. This engulfing, if we go to probably the 2 hour, it might be a lot more clearer, but it's pretty easy to see. I think it was it a 4 hour engulfing as well, maybe. No, it's more than 1 hour and 2 hour. So as you guys can see, let's mark that out. And this is what stuck out. We had this change of trend here, which let me just mark out again. And then oh, you can see we had this pullback, we had this imbalance, and that's exactly where the market reacted from. So that was one entry. We then broke again this low, this lower low here. And where's the market now come back into? Well, same scenario. We have this 1 hour supply. You know, markets come in, it's aligned with the dollar. And as you guys can see, let's just do a 12 pip start. You can see that the market is currently sat around a 1-to-1 or just over 1-to-1. So yeah, that is something that of course is moving clean. Moving clean. So with that being said, let's move this away. You know, what can we expect right now? So as you guys can probably currently see, the market has broken this low here on the 1 hour. And let me just let my dog in. Well, and as you guys can currently see, you know, the market is basically just coming to this where this started this 1 hour imbalance was. So here, oh my God, these dogs. 1 second, guys. So we've had that break, we've tapped into that imbalance. Is anything on the lower time frames like the 30 and the 15 minute? Let's have a look. Not on the 30, that's clear. Not really on the 15, that's clear. So, you know, for me currently right now, pardon me, what I'd be waiting for is probably just a pull back into this supply potentially, 1 hour supply. And we also have that imbalance, or what we can expect is the market just dumping away from where it currently is at. So either market's going to hopefully just punch above and carry on. That's one scenario. Or the other scenario is it's going to punch above these highs here, tap into this imbalance, potentially tap into the supply, and then get that movement away. So that's what I'll be looking out for with AUD, USD. NZUSD, didn't quite get an entry on this. I'll explain why I was looking for an entry, and it was pretty clear. I think we obviously, you know, discussed yesterday about being in this range from this lower high to this lower low. Simple, easy, everyone should understand that. Then we was in the extreme level of this 1 hour supply. Let's drop down, which you can see, 1 hour, the last candle that caused this movement down. NFP came up, tapped into the imbalance that was below, into the supply, and then we consolidated. One thing that I noticed that I liked is similar to AUD USD. You can see that this engulfing reaction. You can see that this candle here, you know, gave this engulfing reaction here, this engulfing candle, and then we broke below this 1 hour trend because the market was consolidating but uptrending more so than down. And then we had this reaction. Where did the market come back into? Well, it came into this 1 hour supply, the last, you know, buy candle that caused this movement down, and also into this imbalance here. And then that's where we got that movement away. So that was that trade yesterday, which it was around 3.5. Yeah, 2.5. Let's just say 1 to 3 is around there. And I was pretty much waiting for the same scenario here. You guys can probably see we have this market distribution. We broke this low again. I think, let me just double check. Yeah, it was more so this 4 hour here. So we got another 4 hour engulfing reaction here, engulfing candle. So what I wanted to see was the market with this next candle here. I wanted to see it punch above into this 1 hour supply, a little bit of a deeper retracement, and then move away. Now, we didn't come into my 1 hour supply, but obviously it tapped into that imbalance. It didn't react from the 4 hour candle as well, just missed out on that 4 hour candle. It just come in to fill a little bit of imbalance and then go. So that's pretty much what I was waiting for. Looking at this currently, could we potentially see the market retrace back? Yeah, we probably could, because we do have, let's say, this imbalance above here as well. Let me just make this a little bit more cleaner looking. So we do, let's just move this, make it a little bit more nicer looking. So we do have, of course, imbalance. We do have this 1 hour supply candle, which you guys should be able to see here. And we do also have, some pretty much some not equal highs, but I mean some liquidity that we could target. So, could we potentially, same scenario with AUD USD, either just carry on away from here and just dump off still? That's one scenario, of course. Or if the market, let's say New York, gives us a bullish reaction to fill in either this imbalance, take out these highs, and then potentially go into this supply, either one of this, that could also happen as well. So I'm currently in USD CAD as we speak. Again, just textbook, what I was waiting for was just a reaction from this 4 hour demand, similar to the dollar. We was in, let's just look from the naked eye, we was in this 4 hour demand area. We have imbalance. NFP obviously caused the market to come into this 4 hour demand, and then we've just been consolidating, nothing really happening at all yesterday. And then obviously today, what I noticed was first thing this morning was this bullish engulfing candle here. So if you notice, I've got it covered in green. Let's just move this imbalance. Let's focus on this once. Oh no, keep that. So as you guys can see, this engulfing candle here with the green area here, that gave me that confidence of entering this trade because nothing was happening, and then we get that volume into the markets in London session. Now, if I drop down to the one, you can see that the green area represents that 4 hour engulfing candle. And my entry was pretty simple. It was, we have a lot of imbalance below. I didn't think it was going to come to the deepest part, so I just entered off the second candle. So I used both candles, which is more of a 2 hour area. If you look, 2 hours demand area. And as you guys can see, the market came extremely close, and then I had to basically market execute into that trade. So textbook, clean, easy to understand for you guys. What am I expecting currently next? Well, what I'm expecting next would be to have something similar. Let me just move this out of the way. To have something, similar where we've now broken this 1 hour high. And what do we currently have? If you guys look, we have a fresh engulfing candle. We have a new fresh engulfing candle. So what would I expect? Well, simple. We have, this 1 hour demand area. We have the imbalance that is still created there. Let me just move this out of the way, it's peeing me off. And as you guys can see, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. I would just like to see if the market would retrace either into this imbalance, get a reaction, or into this demand, get a nice reaction, and obviously long this forward, fill in the rest of this imbalance. And then potentially what we need to look out for, our next area would be around this level of 4 hour supply, this 4 hour candle here. That's where we can then keep an eye on what is potentially going to happen from this area. So yeah, that is what I'm looking at for USD CAD. Hopefully it makes sense to you guys. Now, USD another absolute beauty of a trade that I'm in, as you guys can currently see. Same scenario we talked about yesterday. It's having being in a daily candle of interest, which if I just show you, you can see that the market went from downtrending, failed to go and create a new lower low, then broke above. Yes, we're reacting out of this daily supply, but if you look at the structure, you can see that the market was obviously still bullish, even though we're in this daily supply. First thing I noticed was, obviously this little trap candle here. And if you look, we've had this daily demand candle or this daily candle of interest. So if you drop down to the 4, all you can pretty much see is from this area, we was, slowing down. You can see the market was slowing down, going sideways, giving that consolidation. And then first thing I noticed, and you guys hopefully should already be able to see it, is this bullish engulfing candle. This bullish engulfing candle here, these two candles, you can see that's what gave me the reaction to then obviously look for this trade. And as you guys can clearly see, one reaction was it just dropped to maybe half a time frame. The market then retraced. Also, 1 hour change of trend. In fact, is it clear on the one? Yeah, so as you guys can see, we brought this 1 hour high, retraced into the imbalance, into this 4 hour demand area. That was one entry, either from here. Or obviously, if you was to do like, whatever entry is that you guys want, if it was a middle of this candle, it would have been a better entry. But whatever it was, and you can see it's obviously reacted perfectly. And then for me, all I wanted to see again was I just wanted to see another reaction. So when we come away from this demand area, you can see that we had this candle. And then again, I think it was a 2 hour candle. Yeah, this 2 hour bullish engulfing candle here. Give me the confidence. Let me just mark this out. This area here. That just give me the confidence of this being bullish. And as you can see, I entered on the pullback and now obviously in this trade currently. So that's USD CHF. As of right now, what we're waiting for. So just looking at the market conditions, if we just quickly go to the 4 hour, what can we see? 4 hours pretty clean. It is pretty clean. We've got obviously the start of an imbalance on the 4 here, which could be where the market is looking to rebalance itself. And then that would align with, of course, the 1 hour trend, because if you look at this, let's just mark this out. This was our 1 hour, which we broke. And then obviously we had a reaction, and then we broke above here again. So, could we see where this imbalance was? This 1 hour demand area potentially be the next area. Yes, we do have some imbalance below. So if it does go lower than this, we could come into this lower imbalance here. But yeah, from a structural standpoint, I like the look of this, of course, but it has to align with what the dollar is doing and then potentially move away from there. Pretty simple. Let's see if we can get that going into the rest of today. And then let's have a look at USD Japanese yen. Pretty much the same scenario. USD Japanese yen is clean, to be fair. And the reason for that is you can see we have this daily range, daily higher low, daily higher high. We reacted from this daily demand. And in the market with NFP, obviously shut the market back down into this area where this imbalance was above, into this new daily demand area. So that's where the market is currently at. If you look at the 4, obviously the 4 hour range is currently from this lower high to this lower low. So of course, for extra confirmation, what we would like to see is, this lower high broke. We would love to see that. But from a daily standpoint, and a 4 hour standpoint, what we're going to understand is yes, we're in this 4 hour supply. And again, this is where the dollar comes in. If the dollar's bullish, we can expect, USD Japanese yen to be bullish. And I do like the reaction of, this 4-hour candle here. I do really like the reaction of this. So let's say we was bullish. Of course, what I would like to see is us move away from this 4-hour demand. So yes, we are trapped. Yes, both sides have give nice, engulfing candles. So I'm going to be patient with this one, because what could happen is pretty simple. If we're bearish, we could just, move away from this supply and just burn right through that. Or we could now be seeing with this bullish reaction, pull back, and then obviously bullish reaction away from here. So let's keep an eye on that going into today. And again, keep an eye on what the dollar is doing. The dollar is currently in that new 4-hour demand area. So let's see how we do react on there. But other than that, guys, I appreciate every single person who tunes in to these videos. As always, I will see you guys tomorrow. Take care and God bless.